We are now going to continue with slope-intercept form. This is day 2, so if you have not watched the day 1 video, maybe watch that one first, just to get a little review on the information. So, first thing we're going to start with is a graph. We're going to figure out our slope and y-intercept, and then we're going to compare the two. So, again, when we're talking about a graph, we have to find 2 good points. So when I say good points, I mean the ones that are perfectly in those crosshairs like that, whereas this one doesn't really go through there, so we can't really use that point. So I see this one right there as well, and if I'm trying to find the slope, I've got to use rise over run. So I'm going to rise 2, run 3. That means my slope is a 2 over 3. My y-intercept is where that line crosses the y-axis, and it looks like that one's at 5 for function 2. My change in y here is 3. My change in x is 2. So I've got to look and see if it's the same thing all the way down, and it does look like it is. So I will say 3 over 2 is my slope, and then my y-intercept is across from 0, right? So that's 3, and it looks like I've got what I need. So now it says which one has the greater slope. Well, if I'm thinking about it, going up 3 and over 2 is going to be a lot more work than only going up 2 and then over 3. So I'm going to say function number 2 has a greater slope, and then the greater y-intercept, that one's pretty self-explanatory. 5 is greater than 3, so there we go. All right, so graphing in slope-intercept form. Now we're going to go backwards to like what we did yesterday, or the previous day if you are watching this a couple days apart. The previous video, we did it we were given a graph and then we did the equation. We're going backwards now. So the first thing I'm going to look at is my y-intercept. That's at -2. Maybe I'll change colors for this as well. At -2, that's right there. Okay, and then my slope is 3, which is the same thing as 3 over 1, and that's just something you got to kind of remember to do. Change that into a fraction, which means I'm going to go up 3 and over 1 for this. So up 3 is this, over 1 is right here. So there's where my point would be. Same thing, if I go up 3 over 1, I can actually keep going all the way up there, and then backwards would look like this. And now I think I can kind of cheat here and do my best to draw the line, but then it should self-correct. Yes. Okay, so there's my line. I'm going to put arrows on it like so, and we should be good. Number 3. So now we've got 3 over 4, negative 3 over 4x plus 1. Okay, so starting with my y-intercept again, I'm going to put a point there, and then I'm going -3/4, which I'm going to actually adjust that to look like this, -3 over 4. We can move that negative wherever we want, so I'm going to put it like that. So -3 over 4 would look like 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. That's down 3 and over 4. Down 3 and over 4 would look like this one. Made a mistake there, okay? And then if I wanted to go backwards, I'd go up 3 and over 4 to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. And right there. Okay, so my final line then would look like this. Moving on. Number 4. My slope on this one's kind of tricky to see, but there is a -1 there, and then I could always put it over a 1. So -1 over 1. But again, my y-intercept is -4, so I'm going to put a point there first. And then I'm going to go down 1 and over 1. All the way down here, and all the way the other way as well. Okay. There we go. Last one here. +2 is my y-intercept. And then my slope is 3 over 2. So rise 3, run 2. Rise 3, run 2. And I can go the opposite way as well. and draw my line. Oh, it didn't straighten out for me that time. Let me try again. There we go. Okay. Now just a couple word problems here. Jacob is going to the amusement park where it costs money to get in. He also has to pay each time that he wants to go on a ride. The equation represents the situation y equals 4.5x plus 20. Which situation below describes the cost of entering the amusement park and riding on the rides? So that $20 is just going to be a one-time payment because it doesn't have a variable attached to it. So I'm going to go ahead and assume that that is like at the gate. So it's $20 at the gate, which is what it says here. And then the $4.50 is attached to a variable, meaning that would be like every single ride that you go on, you have to pay $4.50, which is also what letter C says, so that's going to be my answer. Last question, it says Rico opens up an account to deposit $400, and then he deposits $200 each week. So again, that $400 is just an initial deposit. It only happens one time, so it's not going to have a variable attached to it. The $200 is going to have a variable attached to it because he's doing it each week, so it should have a variable attached to it there. So my answer to this one is also C. Lastly here, it says, what is the speed from A to B? So I got to look at the sides of my graph. So my y-axis here is that's speed. And so from A to B, from this point here to this point there, the speed is always at 10, right? It's right across from that 10 right here. So that's going to be my speed. And then it says, what is the slope between A and B? Well, that's the same thing we were talking about, and that's a horizontal line. And if we think back to my first video on this topic, all the way at the top here, I even got it written still, horizontal line has a slope of 0. So, if I can find it again, there we go. The slope would be 0, so it's either A or C. And then it says, is the slope increasing or decreasing, or is it at a constant rate? Well, in this one, it's going to stay at a constant rate, which is 10 the whole time. Okay, moving on. Number 10. It says, calculate and interpret the rate of change for the following situation. So basically, it's asking for slope here. It says, first, the rate of change increases 4 gallons every 3 minutes. Well, my rate of change is not increasing, otherwise it would be going up like that. So it can't be A. The rate of change decreases by 20 gallons every minute. Well, 20 gallons every minute would go down 20 over 1, and my slope would look like that. And it definitely does not look like that. Okay, so then the third one says the rate of change decreases by 15 gallons every minute. 15 gallons every minute would be down. 15 would put us at 5. Every minute would put us right here. Oh no, my pen died. Okay, I'm going to continue this. I think my pen died, but the rate of change decreases by 15 gallons every minute. That's not going to work. I don't think I can use my hand to write either. The answer is D, the rate of change. It's going down 4 over 3, and I'm not able to show you that, but if you count down 4 gallons, that would put you from 20 to 16, and then you could go over every 3 minutes, so that would put you over 3 boxes, and that would put you on your line. So the answer on that one was D. Number 11, how far is Angie above the canyon floor at the start? Well, she's 360 feet high at the start. The start was at time 0, so it's the highest point on that graph, so it's 360. And then it says, what is her average speed? Well, as you can see, like one box here, so it's going down 20 on the left-hand side, right? So those, if you look at those increments from 360 to 340, it's going down 20, and then it's only going over one box, whereas that one box is a 1. So it's going down 20 and over 1. So she's going down at 20 feet per minute is the final answer on this one. Sorry my pen ran out there at the end, but I think you should be able to get those. And if you have any questions on those, make sure you ask.